I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another reason to breathe this air.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It is a Friday and it's hard to believe that we're only 2 weeks away from Easter weekend. Easter is 2 weeks away from this upcoming Sunday, but today here on the channel, I want to talk some NASCAR. This past weekend, we had the Xfinity Series on the track, and of course, the Cup Boys were on the track as well. Saturday, we had the Xfinity Series Spring Race at Phoenix, and it was won by Chandler Smith, followed by Jesse Love, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, and Cole Custer rounded out the top 5. 6 through 10, we had Shane Van Gisbergen, Brandon Jones, Parker Kligerman, Sammy Smith, and the name of the man who always makes me hungry when I hear his name, that's Anthony Alfredo. Anytime I say Alfredo, no matter how full I am, I instantly get hungry. But the Xfinity Series boys are off this weekend. They'll be back on the track next weekend. Now the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series was off last weekend, but they're in action this weekend. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time is the Weather Guard Truck Race from Bristol Motor Speedway. And the NASCAR Cup Series last Sunday at Phoenix. The race was won by Christopher Bell, followed by Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs, Brad Keselowski, and Ryan Blaney rounded out the top 5. 6 through 10 was Ross Chastain, Martin Truex Jr., Michael McDowell, Chase Briscoe, and Tyler Reddick. And the Cup Boys will be at Bristol Motor Speedway coming up Sunday afternoon at 3:30 Eastern Time, and they have got rid of the dirt, so it's back to the pavement at Bristol. They tried the dirt, and I don't blame them because so many fans wanted to give it a shot. They tried it the first year. The turnout was okay, but last year it was by far the poorest attended race on the schedule. And if you're a fan of the dirt, you have to show that by showing up. So when they do it and you don't show up, it comes across as you're not a fan. So the dirt is gone, at least for now. So back to the regular racetrack at Bristol tomorrow night with the Truck Series, and Sunday afternoon with the Cup Series. And somebody asked me yesterday how come NASCAR has pretty much, now they've evened the playing field, so to speak, and there's no longer one team or one driver that stands out from the crowd, and they want to know, why that was. And I said, well, look at it. Jimmie Johnson destroyed NASCAR by winning 5 straight championships, and they're just now recovering from it. And Formula One's been around forever, but it was on Speed for the longest time. And of course, Speed is no longer around, so now Formula One comes on ESPN. And there for a while, Formula One was gaining popularity big time, and it was fastly catching NASCAR being the most popular motorsport in America. But now, Max Verstappen has won 3 straight championships, and the last 2.5 years, he's won every single race but 2. He wins the pole every race, and he wins the race every week. And now, guess what's happening? Formula One's popularity is dying because nobody wants to see somebody be that dominant. It's good for Max Verstappen that he's that good, but why in the world do you want to prepare yourself to watch a race when you know before it starts what's going to happen? Max Verstappen's going to win the pole. Max Verstappen's going to win the race. What's the point? You know the outcome. The way NASCAR's got it now, there's 20 to 25 drivers that can win any given weekend, and that's what you want. You want parity. You don't want to see one driver or one team just completely dominate. That's boring. That's not fun. But NBC has already made a change in the booth in preparation for June when NBC will take over the NASCAR Cup Series season. They've made 2 changes, but one of them wasn't on them. One was on them. Dale Jr. announced last month that he is not going to be with NBC this year. He's going to start with Amazon Prime next year. Starting next year, Amazon Prime is going to carry NASCAR Cup Series racing. So instead of signing a 1-year deal with NBC, he decided to go ahead and leave. He's jumping over to Amazon Prime next year. There was some things that he said that made it abundantly clear he didn't like the way NBC is going to be in the future doing their races. He came out and said what they were going to do, but then when he got called out on, he said, no, I wasn't talking about NBC. But when you work for NBC and the only station / network you carry races for is NBC, and then you come out and say what they're going to do, you're talking about NBC whether you say you are or not. But I've never been a Dale Jr. fan. He's a lot better as a commentator than he ever was as a race car driver, but he's just not for me. I don't care for his voice. His voice, to me, sounds like nails on a chalkboard. That's just my opinion, but he is a much better commentator than he ever was a race car driver. But that was not NBC's decision. That was Dale Jr.'s decision. NBC's decision was to replace Rick Allen, which they're going to be doing. Rick Allen has been doing the NASCAR Cup Series races since 2014, which is the year that NBC started carrying NASCAR racing. He's going to do it this year when they first start in June for 4 to 5 races, maybe, while the Olympics are going on. And then Lee Diffie is going to be taking over the Cup Series, and Rick Allen will be doing the Xfinity races that NBC will be carrying. I like Rick Allen. He's not Mike Joy. He's not Alan Bestwick. And he's sure not Mike Bagley or Joe Moore or Doug Rice or anybody else you hear on MRN or PRN radio. But he's good. But he does slip up on his words every now and then and stutter on his words, but he's still good. But I think the main reason most fans don't like him is because 99% of the time he is very monotone. He hardly ever shows any emotion whatsoever. And when you're sitting at home on your couch watching the races, you want somebody calling the race who's excited to be calling the race. And Rick Allen a lot of times comes across as, well, I'm here to do it for my job, but I don't want to do it. Whereas all the other NASCAR guys show emotion, Rick Allen doesn't. But I think that's just his personality. I think he's just monotone and has the personality of a brick wall. And when you have the personality of a brick wall, you can't cover it up on TV. Kind of like the other day, somebody was talking about a wrestler named Malachi Black. And I said Malachi Black's problem is he has the charisma of a doorknob. Well, that's kind of the way Rick Allen is. Rick Allen has the personality of a doorknob. And when you have the personality of a doorknob, you're going to come across as boring. But most NASCAR fans aren't going to like Lee Diffie because you can tell by his voice that he's not American. And the long-time NASCAR fans that are still stuck in their southern roots are not going to like a guy with a strong Australian accent calling the NASCAR races. Any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I saw a snake that was exactly 3.14 meters long. I think it was a python. And hopefully you get that joke. Yesterday was March 14th, which of course was 3/14, which is National Pie Day, and not the kind of pie that you eat, the mathematical pi equation. So, since yesterday was National Pie Day, I gave you a dad joke about 3.14. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.